Hey guys, yes, I'm still alive after 7 months without any upload. So before we move on, let me explain a few things first, really quick. The reason why I haven't been very active over the past month is mainly because I've got my studies going on at the moment. Second reason is because I'm being lazy, which causes my editing working time to be reduced and then my uploads to be less frequent, added with the size of my current project. Because yeah, in case you don't know, I'm making Fantasy a 5 or 6 minute long movie, acknowledging his quit playing God 4. But anyway, here's a preview.
Nice try by him!
Alright, enough. It's likely to come out lately in 2013, so if you want to see more, I have made this Facebook page, so I'll post news of my projects and myself there as soon as I can. So instead of constantly asking me how it's going, just check it out, see if there's anything new. Other than that, I've been receiving tons of messages asking,
do you edit for free? How much for a team page edit? Can you me edit? I don't speak German.
Well, read my channel description.
Once and for all, I will not reply to this kind of message, basically because I'll be saying the same thing over and over again. Given I'm all busy and stuff with my studies, and that I have a big project ongoing, as well as other future projects in mind, I don't really have time. And there have been so many of you to ask that I'd say it's unfair to give preference to specific people, But don't get me wrong, I really appreciate all the support and the interest I see in the messages and in the comments, because I actually read every single comment on my videos. Same goes for private messages, and if you've got any editing question, feel free to ask me and I'll answer it. Okay, now
let's change the subject. Even if I usually do not share my movie making stuff, I'm doing a special giveaway today, down there in the description. This is an editing pack including some of my movie statues, skies, along with all the cool stuff. But anyway, let's move on to the tutorial.
So I heard you wanted to know how to make this effect from Majority. This bunch of particles going across the corridor with the lighting all around. Well, it's not that difficult if you follow the steps. So in After Effects, actually you need to motion track your footage first. But I won't deal with it, because let's say you're supposed to know how to do it. Well, there are enough tutorials on YouTube about that. What you just need is the plugin Particular from Trapcode. So let's just get to the point. As you can see here, I've already imported my video footage, as well as the camera I've got from Buju. Com settings, nothing special, 30 FPS, the basics. Okay, now let's move on to the serious stuff. Make a new solid, name it Particles for example, and make sure you make it bigger than your composition size, for a reason I mention later. Leave it black because you're not racist, and here we go. Apply Particular, so effect Trapcode Particular, but be careful to not turn on 3D layer. You might think about doing that. Well, don't make this mistake. The particles are already motion tracked in 3D space, as long as you got the camera and the solid with the particular effect on top of each other. Sorry. Now let's get to the settings. Open up emitter. Now you want your particles to be at the right place you want them to be, so just modify these position settings. Well, in my case I already know approximately the values I've got to set up, so it should be pretty fast. But you need to preview the clip a few times to see if the emitter is at the right spot. Okay, just preview it. I think it's looking good. Okay, it's looking fine to me. But we need more particles, so change the amount of particles per second to the value like
Over 9,000!
Like that. Or even more. Okay. Now I'm gonna turn the velocity down so the particles don't go too much in the space around. It's okay, leave the other settings like that. Now in the particle settings, let's change the life duration of a single particle to 1 or so. Depends on what you want to get. Remember that you don't need to have the exact same settings as mine. Try to stand back, try to express yourself and make your own ideas. So try to see what's the influence of some specific settings in order for you to know which value you actually want. And what I'm doing here is only reproducing the same parameters as in majority. Anyway, choose glow sphere as a particle type and turn the size to 1. We want small particles. Now in the size over life, what we want is make the particle size to decrease over time. So select the linear decreasing gradient so the particles start at maximum size and then gradually decrease to non-existent. Now I want the particles to go from one side to another, so in the timeline open up particles, effects, particular and then emitter, and with the position XY click on the stopwatch to enable setting keyframes. So click on the first value, the X position, and drag it to the left at a spot where we don't see the particles. Now go to the end, and now we want it to be on the other side, like that. Just to change the Y position a bit, so it travels parallel to the ground. Now let's preview it. Okay, it looks pretty boring. So another trick to make it stylish is you go to the physics and then air and search for turbulence field. Open it up and turn the effect size to 1, effect position to something about 100, change the scale, increase it to about 20. Now you can see good changes already. Set the evolution speed to a low value like 15. Well, actually it's up to you. And now when you preview it, you can see those random displacements, which make it look way better than before with some additional motion. But you know, as I said, you don't need the same settings as mine, so just mess around with these, see what you like most. Oops. For example, maybe you want the evolution speed to be way higher so that the displacement goes well, more quickly, like that. But I personally like when it's slower. Well, it's up to you. And you know, if you want to add some additional motion, just add some keyframes with the position. For example, make it lower there, and then a few frames later make it a little bit higher, like that, so that it doesn't seem to go on a straight line, you know, add some random gaps here and there. You need to preview a lot if you want to know what to change, if you want to see the details. Maybe just add another keyframe there. Okay, looks pretty cool. But there's a little problem. Maybe the life per second is not high enough, so maybe turn it up to 2. Yeah, I think it's better like that. And you know, when you see that the particles are spreading too much, like here. Well, just set the velocity to a lower value, so now it doesn't look too crazy. But now there are still particles not hidden at the beginning, so I'm just gonna fix it. Well, let's preview again. Alright, but we need some more style to the motion. So search for the effect CC vector blur, then apply to the solid. Now when you change the amount, the magic happens. I'm just gonna keep it low there. And then you've got different types. You've got natural, constant length, perpendicular, direction center, fading. I'm just gonna choose direction center because that's the one I've chosen in majority. So what it did is it added some additional motion blur, but you know, more stylish one than the usual. And by the way, vector blur is the reason why the solid size had to be bigger than the composition size, because let's suppose there was no wall on each side and the particles needed to cross the area so that it would go from one part of the screen to the other. Well, vector blur takes the solid edges into account, and at the edges the effect will be kind of distorted. Well, and one more thing, if you don't want the particles to look like that at this moment exactly, well, just change the evolution offset. So what it does is it doesn't have any influence on the physics, basically. It's just like randomizing the movements. So it's a pretty good setting to polish a little bit. Alright, now you're probably wondering, well, where are the colors? Okay, go to Effect, Stylize, then Glow. Turn the threshold to 0% so that the glow affects all the particles. Turn the radius to, well, just increase it to the value you want. Glow colors, choose A and B. And for color A, I don't know, let's just say orange, like that. And then color B, make it brighter than the first color. Alright, it's looking pretty cool. Let's preview it. Looks like golden coins flying away. Anyway, just gonna adjust the color a bit. Okay. Now we need to hide the parts we don't want to see. So close it and duplicate your clip, Ctrl D, and then drag the copy above the particles like that, and then select the pen tool and then just draw the shape of the wall along with the stuff that's supposed to hide the particles. You can make two different masks for each part. Like that. And then we need to animate them. So in both mask settings, click on the stopwatches for the mask path. And then go to another time and edit the masks so that it fits the environment at this moment. Sorry for my laptop's not very fast. You don't need to set keyframes for each frame of your footage. Just pick a time slot and then just edit keyframes regularly. But be careful, see if in your interval there's no mistake, like here. So you know, just edit the masks regularly and then fix them if you see that between two keyframes doesn't really fit. You know, just a matter of time and accuracy. So I think I'm gonna speed up this part a bit. Now when you see like here the mask looks too sharp, just modify the mask feather a bit, like that. Well, I didn't try to be all accurate and stuff, but you get the point. I'm just going to change the velocity again, because it's exceeding a little bit. Alright. Now there's one last step, set up the lighting. So there are different ways to do that. I personally do it with masking. So there you go. Make an adjustment layer. Now you want to apply effect, color correction, curves. This tool allows you to change the brightness of specific tones from the highlights to the shadows. But we're looking for more brightness basically. So do it this way. After that, you want to adjust the colors. So search for CC toner and then set the midtones to the color your particles are. In my case, gonna be yellow, between yellow and orange. And at last, then with original, turn it up to 70 more or less. In a way, this is a sort of opacity setting, so it's up to you if you want brighter colors or not. And now we're going into the most annoying part, masking. So once again, select the pen tool, but before we start, I'm gonna go to a point where we actually see the particles. There should be good. Now at this moment we know that this part of the area is going to be enlightened, and I'm gonna make 3 masks, one for each wall on the sides and another one to cover the middle part. So there you go. Draw the shape of the enlightened part according to your judgment. Try to be as realistic as possible. Alright, now you want to make the light fade out because it looks too sharp. So grab this pen tool again, and we're going to make further masks at the edges of the lights, like that. And then click on your adjustment layer, double press M to open up all the mask settings. Come to the mask you've just created, and then change the mode to subtract. And then edit the mask feather to make the fading effect. You can mess around with the other settings if you want to provide some further modifications. Oh, and if you want to work on your masks without seeing these yellow lines, click on this button, and then when you change something, the preview remains clear and it's easier to see what you're doing. And then just reiterate that process every time you need. And now that it's done, you need to animate them. So click on the stopwatches for every of your masks. Told you it would be annoying. And then edit the keyframes the same way you did when you were masking the walls much earlier. But the area is a bit congested with this too damn high number of masks. So what you can do to edit specific masks you want, click on the empty square to lock up the mask you don't want to move by accident. By the way, you don't need to have this many masks. If you can find a way to do it with a few masks, well, do it to your liking. Wanted to make advantage of this fast forward to check out my Facebook page if you haven't, and I also received my tablet to check out my first piece as well. Okay, I won't do the whole thing because it will be long as hell, and I think you got the point. So I hope you enjoyed my first tutorial. Let me know in the comments. I'll be trying to do some more if you really want me to. So yeah, I hope it has been helpful, at least for you to understand the tools of After Effects a little bit more, as well as Trapcode Particular, of course. You know, rather than copying the exact same effect as mine, try to learn stuff by yourself to make it your own style. And now I'm done. Alright, this has been Noctis. See you soon. Or not that soon actually.